The SAPS Civilian Secretariat has gazetted new draft regulations for public comment. The aim is to establish a new council and a host of new functions for the Minister of Police to protect the country's critical infrastructure. We're joined now by IPUSA General Secretary Mpho Kwinika. Mpho, good evening to you. Thanks for your time tonight. Firstly, when we talk about critical infrastructure linked to the work of the police, let's talk about just what we're referencing here.
Well, good evening to you and to the viewers at home. We thought critical infrastructure that they are referring to are those which South Africans already know, such as ESCOM, the railway lines, or South African Railway, and other points of entries which have been declared national key points. So we thought by now all of us are aware what are critical infrastructure that belongs to this government.
When you look at just some of the laws that are currently being promulgated to try then and prevent the tearing apart of this infrastructure, your general impressions of what has been gazetted so far?
Look, the criminals are not only tearing apart the critical state infrastructure, the criminals are tearing apart the lives of South Africans and their properties. So there is sufficient legislations or law that are currently in place that needs to be implemented other than to create new laws. We strongly believe that the current laws that are here are sufficient to take care of all these issues that are raised in this document, especially the issue of critical state infrastructure.
My understanding of what is being proposed is that you'd almost have a specialized team that would specifically be looking at the, the criminal activity that is taking place, affecting infrastructure in the country. Right now, we're talking about a number of syndicates that, we're told are operating, as you mentioned, when it comes to the country's infrastructure around electricity, country's infrastructure around the rail network. Is that not what we need? More effort being put into some of those areas?
We thought we will need human resource and material resources to help the South African Police Service to fight crime. If you deal with the vandalizing of those infrastructure, malicious damage to property, these are the charges that are there. The issue of the sabotaging of the infrastructure as well. So the law is sufficient. What we are concerned about as the South African Police, as the Independent Policing Union of South Africa, is that the law is not fully implemented because of the lack of those human resources, because of the lack of those of the vehicles. If we are to utilize the laws that we have optimally, we will be able to curb the issues that we see that leads to criminals taking advantage in the critical state infrastructure.
So effectively, what you're saying, Mr. Kwinika, is that this gazetted legislation doesn't actually go to the heart of the issue. It's, asking the right question, but maybe not coming up with the right solution.
The South African Police Service is faced with serious challenges that ranges from leadership to human resources as well. And the issue of the law, that is what we are saying, it is completely none of those issues which are troubling the South African Police Service. Let me just give you an example. If you go to police stations now, during this load shedding, you find that the police stations are dark. Communities are waiting in long queues. They're waiting for the 2 hours or 4 hours of the load shedding to resume with the duties or with the services that they want from the police. What the police need, those police stations need, is a generator. It is not the law which you need there, because the law is already there. we need to have leadership who will be able to coordinate the activities of all law enforcement agencies that are there, including the private security industry. The regulations that are referred to which will also deal with the issues of access control and even egress control. These are issues that are already taking place within this state, this infrastructure that we are referring to now.
All right, we'll leave it there for tonight. IPUSA General Secretary Mpho Kwinika, thanks for your time.